Yo, what is up, guys? Welcome back to another DBD video. This video is going to be a little bit different. It's going to be more of like a discussion video. So go ahead, put me on your second monitor, and just go ahead and game while I yap in your ear. I wanted to do something kind of different, so I thought let's do a top 10 habits that every Dead by Daylight player should break. Because I feel like I go over these things on stream, but I've never made a video about it. By the way, link in the description. If you enjoy this vid, you should come over. I stream Dead by Daylight, scary games, honestly, Roblox. I do cooking stream. I just do a bunch of random stuff. So if you like this vid or I don't annoy you too much, you should definitely come check out the stream. But yeah, I just see too many people doing things that I feel like are kind of common sense to not do. But, you know, here we are 8 years later into the game's release, and I still see people doing it. If you guys don't know who I am, and this is your first video of mine that you're watching, my name is Jacob. I go by Whoajaco on the internet, and I've been playing Dead by Daylight for like 6 years now. I mean, I've been pretty on and off with it. I've had a lot of stages where I've been really burnt out and hate this game, and then I've had stages where I want to make love to this game. Sometimes I just want to make love to it and just give it the best aftercare ever. And sometimes I want to kick it down a staircase, basically. But why am I saying all this? Because I am pretty experienced. So, you know what? I implore you to take my word for the things I'm about to teach or tell. So the first one I'm going to go over is something that I see so many people do for some reason, and it's insta unhooking. So when their teammate gets put on a hook, they drop the gen that they're at that's at 40% that they could finish in like 40 more seconds, 50 more seconds, and they just rush to the hook, not knowing if their teammates are going for it, not knowing anything, just drop everything they're doing and just sprint straight to the hook. Guys, we have 70 seconds on the hook. It used to be 60. We got buffed an extra 10 seconds. Survivors got buffed, so now they have a 77 hook timer. Gens take... I have to look this up. I just talked about how I know so much about this game, and I don't know, did they just change gen speeds? What is it, like 90 seconds? I don't know. How long do gens take in DBD? Okay, 90, yes. So it used to be 80, right? It used to be 80, and then they buffed it for killers and made it 90. 70 seconds. If you are like 40% on a gen, you can finish your gen before you even have to worry about your homie going to second state. So stop running straight to the hook. Finish what you're going to do, and honest to God, unhook at the last second if you can. That's like the most optimal thing you could do, especially if the killer's proxying, because your teammates can't get tunneled if they're on the hook. Keeping them on the hook just stops them from being able to get tunneled. So relax, take a chill pill. 70 seconds is a long ass time. Even if you go in the last like 20 seconds to trade with them or whatever, just chill the F out before I start spanking All right, that brings me to my second point. Stop freaking out over hook number 1. What does that mean? When the first down of the game happens, or somebody goes down for the first time, stop freaking out and going for the save as if they're about to die. It's only their first hook. And again, this is more for solo queue gamers. If you're in a Swift and you guys are having fun and you guys aren't trying to win, that's a different story. I used to play with my friends and we would just go for saves only. We wouldn't even work on gens. We would just try to see how many flashlight saves we can get. That's different. I'm talking about solo queue gamers and people trying to actually win, you know, the survivor side. Because I know a lot of people believe that DBD is not balanced, but the truth is, guys, it is pretty balanced. It's just that it's more strict on the survivor side. You have to play more like methodical, and you have to like have purpose for what you're doing. With killer, you can kind of just walk around effing everybody up and you're gonna end up with a bunch of wins. With survivor, you kind of gotta buckle down, dude, especially if the killer is not an idiot. If your MMR is in the dumps and you're going against killers who are actually brain rot to the max, skibby toilet, gat for gat, riz for riz, you know what I mean? Like if the killer is risen up Livy done in Ohio, then yeah, you're fine. But for the most part, people that play killer are pretty decent, and you gotta play the game well on your side, because the killer is going to play well on their side. So stop freaking out when somebody's on their first hook. I would say even on their second hook, you could chill. The death hook is the one that's important. Losing a player is really detrimental. So, you know, I understand freaking out over the last hook, but the first one, absolutely not. Shut the hell up, sit the hell down, and finish the damn gen. Plus, I'm going to be honest, I always bring a flashlight in when I'm solo queuing, and sometimes, yeah, somebody goes down right next to me and I go for the save. 99% of the time I get the save, they go down 5 seconds later. So what, my save didn't even actually matter or help us at all. That's literally what happens most of the time, but Maybe I'm just a sweaty idiot who just wants to try hard all the time. All right, tip number Trace. Stop 99ing the exit gates most of the time. There is very, very rarely times where 99ing the exit gate actually helps. I mean, I would say you don't have to open it right away, but I have died way more times to an exit gate being 99'd than I have to Blood Warden or the timer running out. Rarely those two things happen, but I have died way more to an exit gate that is 99'd. I think you just got to get better at reading the situation. So if it's endgame and the killer is camping the last survivor on the hook, you know, you guys are all by the exit gate together, the three of you, and you're going to go for the save, open the gate. Why are you 99ing it? Because now you just need someone to either stay by the gate or somebody needs to open the gate and somebody else is going to go down in the meantime while they're doing it. Open the gate. You have 2 whole minutes. And if somebody is slugged or on the hook, the timer gets doubled. 4 minutes. Most DBD matches are 10 minutes. You do not need more than 4 minutes in the end game. You don't. I'm sorry. I mean, I see this argument a lot, but the truth is you do not need more than 4 minutes. Even Blood Warden doesn't last that long. Like, seriously, it doesn't. And how many people even bring Blood Warden? Honestly, I think it's more exciting than anything. You know, I'd rather lose to a killer bringing Blood Warden. I'd rather lose to Blood Warden than I would to a Deadlock, Pain Res, Pop, and Corrupt Intervention. So, for the most part, stop 99ing the exit gates. Just be a little bit smarter with it. DBD is not a one rule fits all situation. Like, you can't just have a mindset of, no, I'm doing this no matter what. No, you have to kind of adapt and make reads. Sometimes you got to make reads, you know? You counted that the killer had 3 perks already. What are the chances that the last one is Blood Warden? Probably not that much. So open the exit gate up, and that's it. Number 4, and I know I'm going to get yelled at for this one, but let me explain. Stop letting the killer slug. Okay.
But what the hell are you saying, brother?
Hold on. Literally, what do you mean, let the killer slug? The killer gets to choose if they want to slug. I have no say whether the killer slugs or not, so what an idiotic statement to make. Okay, well, I had to go help my dad with something downstairs, and I lost my train of thought, but the point is, I feel like a lot of survivors don't understand why slugging is so good. So if I down one survivor, it's a team of 4, right? I down somebody, I down one, I see a second person, I'm not going to waste my time hooking the first person. I'm going to go after the second. Why is that so good? Because now I'm chasing a second person. We still need a third survivor to go for the first person. And if I can get it down on the second person in time, then I can pressure the 4th person who's on a gen. That you got to stop thinking, oh, slugging is slugging is toxic. It's the worst thing in the world. There's a reason that people do it. Now, I'm not talking about people that slug and then leave you on the floor and hump you. That's different and that's weird. I'm talking about in the middle of the game for the killer to get pressure. Don't get caught when your teammate just went down. Don't get caught, and they most likely won't slug. And if they do slug, then they're going to go to another part of the map. They're not going to know you're there. You're going to get the pickup, and the slug meant nothing. It doesn't help them whatsoever. It actually hurt them because they lost a hook state instead. So basically what I mean is stop letting the killer slug for free. All right, I guess this is just a controversial ass video, I guess. I'm going to be saying a lot of stuff that's controversial. This next point, stop being scared to throw good pallets. It's like the circle of life. You know, at first I used to think, at the beginning I used to think, no, do not throw good pallets at the start of the game. Leave those up. You never know when you're going to need them. And as I've gotten better, I'm learning how important the first chase in a game is. The first chase sets the tone. It allows your teammates to get pressure on gens. It allows the killer to get pressure on the survivors. Throw down the pallets when you need to. I'm not saying don't loop and just pre-drop everything, but play the loops correctly and don't be scared to drop a pallet. Now, if you're healthy, sure, take a hit instead of dropping a great pallet. But if you're going to go down, you know, it's a Bubba or you're injured or it's a hillbilly, you know, a one-shot killer, just drop the pallet. Every DVD map is made in mind with a certain amount of pallets. Most of them. Some of them are actually really bad with like barely any pallets, but for the most part, 95% of the maps in DBD have enough pallets for the trial. So as long as your teammates are doing their job, which everybody should be on gens, stop invocating in the damn basements. If everybody is just even decently efficient, you have more than enough pallets. Think about how many times you end the game, right? And the exit gates are opened and shack pallet's still up. And, you know, a main building pallet's still up. And another god pallet and a really strong filler. Think about all those pallets that get wasted that, you know, you could have used. and maybe even had a better win. So stop being scared to throw the pallets, especially if you're the first one being chased. That first chase is very, very important. Okay, tip number 6. Stop not paying attention to what gens your teammates are on. I know, we all like to hop on DBD and space out and turn our brains off and just not even think about anything that's going on. We all like to disassociate and play Dead by Daylight. But just give like a percent of your mental energy and look around to see what gens your teammates are on. Because if you guys are all completing gens on one side of the map, you're just asking to get 3-gened. And getting 3-gened is something that is really, really hard to break when you're not in a full Swift with full communication. Survivor is all about cooperation and communication, which is why people think killer is easier, which it's not. I am someone who believes that DBD is pretty decently balanced, as I've already said, and it's because the reason I think people think killer is so OP is because killer doesn't rely on 3 other idiots, right? We're playing and trying to enjoy the game, and we have to worry about 3 other people. So it's me and then 3 other randoms, and it's hard when we're not talking to each other. The killer doesn't have anybody to talk to. It's just him on one team. So you got to do what you can to pay attention to your teammates. I guess this tip could be, just summarized as pay attention to your teammates more, but really pay attention to what gens your teammates are working on. I can't tell you how many times I'll see, all my teammates finish all the gens on one side of the map, and I'm like, guys, why do we not spread apart? You gotta be aware of the 3-gen. You gotta be conscious of the 3-gen. So tip number 7, and this is one that I'm pretty guilty of and I'm still working on to this day, it's stop blaming everything on your teammates. There's so many games where I'll see my teammates do something and I'm just like micromanaging, I'm like hovering and or watching them while I'm working on a gen. I'm like, bro, what are you doing? Blah, blah, blah. The truth is we're all making mistakes. We all got different ideas in our head. And there's so many things that you yourself as a player can work on. There's so many games where I play really freaking well and my teammates just play so horribly and we lose. And I'll go back and watch those games and I'll see some mistakes that I made too. And if I didn't make those mistakes, maybe I could have carried even harder. You can't change or make up what your teammates are going to do, but you can change and get better for yourself. So just look at yourself more. Don't worry about what your teammates are doing. If you lose, you lose. Yes, it's frustrating. I mean, believe me, I'm someone who I love competition. I'm a very competitive person. I enjoy it very, very much. And undeserved losses feel like crap. There's nothing worse than when you feel like you played your heart out and your teammates just didn't try at all and you lose. But there's nothing you could really do about it. Just look at yourself really and just focus on what you could have fixed, because I'll tell you right now, none of us are playing perfect Dead by Daylight matches. Yeah, we can play really, really well, but we're not playing perfectly. There's many things we could work on, so just try to focus on that more. It'll help with your mental too. Believe me. Oh my god, you guys don't even know. You guys don't even know. Just watching I only play solo queue. I only play solo queue, so you don't know how much my brain is fried from that crap. Yeah, it's done damage. It's done irreversible damage to me. Tip number 8, and this is an important one. This is one that when I host my open lobbies over on twitch.com/Whoajaco, make sure you guys click the link in my description and come over to my Twitch page. I see people not understanding the killer that they're going against. You need to understand that some loops are good against some killers and some aren't. Some are a lot better and some are a lot worse. Stop playing every killer the same and then getting upset because they countered you and you're like, oh, this killer is so unfair. I know it's frustrating to go down when a killer has a pretty good anti-loop, but there's loops made for those killers with anti-loops, and you gotta be able to decipher what is the best path that you can take, and what is the best loop that you can run the killer on. That tip, it's gonna take some time. It's gonna take time. Like, you're gonna have to watch a lot of YouTubers. You could watch me. I'm all right. I'm not like perfect, but I'm all right at the game. But yeah, other than getting thousands of hours playing and watching people with even more thousands of hours, this tip is going to take a little bit more time, but it's something to keep in mind and be conscious of, because it's important. All right, tip number 9 is stop looping in the 3-gen. I think I included this tip in the list because the 3-gens are something that I just suffer from a lot in solo queue, and they're not impossible to break. But the problem is survivors don't understand how 3-gens work. When there are only 3-gens on a map, that's going to be the only portion of the map that the killer pays attention to. Your job is to try to drag the killer out of the 3-gen area so your teammates can work on the gen. So what do I mean by this? You don't know how many times I'll see a survivor working on a gen, then the killer goes to them, they hit them, that's fine. Instead of using the speed boost to run to the other side of the map where the 3 gen is not at, they stay back in the 3 gen. They stay inside of it. That is the worst thing you could do. The moment the killer gets a hook inside the 3 gen as well, forget about it. GG, go next. Let's all just go next. We already messed up. But if you run away from the 3 gen, two things are going to happen. One, the killer is going to chase you and you're going to be the MVP and you're going to get the game-winning chase and you're going to be the freaking GOAT and your whole team is going to pound out the gens while he goes to the other side of the map. Or two, he's going to leave you alone, which is the most likely thing that's going to happen. And you can get a reset with your teammates on the other side of the map, which he won't bother you on, right? The killer's not going to go over there. And it just increases your chances to win by like 100 times, dude. So stop staying in the 3 gen and leave when you get hit. Use that speed boost to leave. Also, I would like to say, since we're on the topic of 3 gens, and I'm hoping all my solo queue teammates watch this video, guys, when you're in a 3 gen, you got to split pressure on the 2 furthest gens. You know how many times I'll see 1 gen, and then one in the middle. And then my teammates are working on the 2 that are touching tips. My teammates are just circle jerking in the same area where the 2 gen. Got to work on the 2 furthest gens. If you see your teammates are on 1 gen, you run to the furthest one and put pressure on it because there's only 1 killer and he's going to have to go back and forth and back and forth. And guess what? As he's going back to 1 gen and you run to the other side of the map, he's wasting his time while they work on the other. Then he's got to go all the way back to that one. You get what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I'm sure I'm explaining it a little, goofy. This is my first type of video like this. Eventually I'll get more organized and get better with this kind of stuff. And this leads me to my 10th and last final tip. It has to do with 3 gens again. Stop 99ing gens. I don't know why in 2024 I still have to say this. I remember that this was like an idea that people had back in like 2019. And I remember thinking, wait, why are people 99ing gens? To stop the 3 gen, to stop the 3 gen. The gens have already spawned on the map. A 3 gen is already there. If a killer decides to guard 3 specific gens, that's it. He's going to guard those 3 specific gens. 99ing the gen at the end of the map is not going to do anything except for decrease the chances of it getting popped. So stop doing that. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. Stop 99ing gens. Finish that. But yeah, that's it. Just some ideas, some things I've noticed over my years of playing DBD and my years of streaming. I've seen the same kind of mistakes get made. And I haven't really seen a video going over this kind of stuff. So I thought, you know what? Why not? Let's try something a little different. Let's make like a conversation little video, But yeah, that's going to be it for this video, guys. I really appreciate you guys for watching. Let me know if you guys have any more tips. Put them in the description, or put them in the comments description. Oh my God. Put them in the comments, and if I see a bunch that I like, I might make a part 2. If you guys want to see more videos like this, let me know. And if you guys want to see me play other things other than DBD, I post videos on all sorts of kind of stuff. Like I said earlier, I be playing it all. I love video games. I love making content, and I love streaming. So this is what I do. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you sussy baka kittens on the next one. Peace out. Blech.